My name is Jay, well, Jasmine, but I go by Jay, and I'm from Richmond, Virginia. Growing up in Richmond, for me at least, was pretty basic. Up until like teenage years, I didn't really have any problems with like housing instability or anything like that. As a youth, like a small youth, I went to school, probably had like, was always the top of my class, did sports, JOTC, was like super into cooking and things of that nature, like super family oriented. And then I would say around like 12, 13, maybe 14, when my parents split, that's when everything kind of just started like trickling downhill. And I would say that's probably like when my anxiety and my depression started like really hitting hard. And then my mom ended up choosing like her boyfriend over us. So we ended, like the entire family ended up homeless at like 17, I would say. So I was going to school, sleeping in my car, being homeless, and I had to graduate high school. And that was extremely hard to do from the comfort of your truck. And then I would say, and I mean, I don't feel like my experience growing up was extremely horrible. I feel like I probably had it pretty easy compared to other people that I come in contact with. Even my housing, like instability portion, that was a lot easier than what what other people deal with. And then I know it made life a bit different, a bit, I wouldn't say more difficult, but a bit different once my family found out I was LGBTQ. No one truly understood what pansexuality was. So they were just like, oh no, you're confused, go to church, go do this. And I actually almost got sent to a conversion camp, which is like super scary to even thinking about. Like, why would you send your 16-year-old child to a conversion camp? Who does that? But I'm still here, and I would say, yeah, queer and happy now. So I don't think my past really affected me here in the future too much. I was able to like build off of everything growing up and the struggles of coming out with not only my family, but my church and my job and things of that nature. I just kind of like pushed through all of that, and now I'm here at the True Color Summit, and I was a main stage speaker. So I'm just like, you can't really allow all the stuff that you go through to impact where you're trying to go. I didn't necessarily come out to my mom. She kind of found out. I had a girlfriend at the time who actually was the individual who got me into advocating in the first place. She came out and her parents kicked her out. And because her parents kicked her out, I'm like, oh, just come to my house. And we'll just like act like you're my best friend from school and I can't see you homeless. So once my mom, she had her suspicion. She's just like, oh, no sleeping with the door closed. Oh, she has to go sleep on the couch. No, you can't share that twin size bed. I'm just like, but mom, why not? But one day we took like a family trip to a local amusement park down in Virginia. It's called Kings Dominion. And it was Halloween time. And I just got so tired of, I guess, hiding it from my mom. I'm like, you know what? I'm leaving. We're going to go off and do our own thing. And I took my girlfriend's hand and we walked away like hand in hand. And my mom saw that. And that was, I guess, all the confirmation she needed. So she ends up on this Ferris wheel and she's like talking to her best friend, crying, literally in tears. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to have grandkids, which I'm just like very stereotypical. LGBTQ people raise kids all the time. She felt as if it was her fault. It's like, what did I do to deserve my child being gay? How could I have changed it? Pretty much like, how can I stop it? Is it just a phase type of thing? But she never really showed any resentment towards me it was more like behind the scenes to her friends. I don't know what's going on, but I could still feel it. So like her confusion impacted me a bit because I'm just like, okay, confused or not, I'm your kid. Get over it. Love me. And then as far as like my dad, I told him last, he took it better than my mom, surprisingly. He was just like, oh, I already knew you were gay. Like, I knew since you were like super young. He also felt like it was kind of his fault because he pushed me to speak and like chill with mainly females as I was younger. He's like, I don't want you chilling with the guys. You're gonna end up like doing these things and doing those things, and I don't want them to like peer pressure you into doing anything that you're not ready to do. So just hang out with all your little friends. I'm like, okay, cool. So he thought me only having female friends pushed me into that direction. I'm just like, Dad, my first girlfriend was in 2nd grade. It was not on you. But he was super accepting, even to the point where he's just like, oh, you're 18? Let's go to the strip club together. And I'm just like, no, there's still some things, that's a line I'm not trying to cross. I appreciate the enthusiasm, the fact that you want to take me there. But no, thank you. I would not be comfortable watching you in the strip club. So that was that. But I told my brother first. And he was just like, oh, I'm telling mom. I'm like, wait, no, you can't tell mom. Like, I have to tell mom. So he kept my secret for probably a year and some change before that incident actually happened. So it's pretty cool of him to like not snitch. Because, I mean, what big brother doesn't snitch on his little sister for everything and put the blame on them for everything? So, but yeah, it was a very interesting time for me, I would say. All of my friends, they already knew. Half of them were trying to come out to their family as well. So it was all the time. We were just sitting back and pretty much talking about, oh, well, this is how I just came out. And, oh, well, I came out like last week. This is how I did it. And, oh, well, my family doesn't support it. I'm like, oh, well, you can just come join our family. We'll create our own little family. And then we literally had like a gay family, like a group of individuals who just came together. If any of us needed anything, we could call on anyone in that group. We needed a place to stay, we can call on anyone in that group. And that started like super early. So to see that like other communities do things like that too, and how close-knit their gay community is pretty awesome, because I didn't think that that existed and we had to create our own. But in all actuality, it was there the entire time. We just were too afraid to be out. So even now, sometimes I still have that internal struggle because I'm pansexual and I don't really identify with either or gender, and I dress however I feel comfortable, in having a partner that is cisgendered male. He doesn't always understand. They're like, okay, today I want to look exactly like you. Like, I want to wear baggy clothes and dress like a boy because that's what's comfortable for me today. I feel more masculine today. And just to get them to understand that like my pronouns are they and them, it's a very confusing thing for people who aren't already in the LGBTQ community and who aren't already fighting for the rights and affirmation and empowerment of our people. They don't understand, they're not educated yet. And to have to educate someone you already love around that matter, it's kind of hard, and it is an internal struggle. So it's just like I have to come out to him periodically every other week. Like, hey, don't forget, I'm a little different than your last girlfriend. So for me, pansexuality is simply, I don't see any gender. I love, and not only love, but I guess I would say love and lust based off of someone's personality. I call it soul searching. It's like a really big thing for me. I don't go based off of looks or gender or sexual orientation, identity, or anything like that. If I can connect with you on a mental level and I feel your heart, then I don't care about anything else. So that's what pansexuality is to me. And I know a lot of people define it in different ways, but yeah. Like the saying love is blind is true. Love is blind, and you shouldn't take into consideration like someone's looks or the way they dress or who they like before you, because things constantly change. And you have to be ready to adapt to that. And love constantly changes. The way you love someone constantly changes. So you just have to be open-minded. And that's the problem that the world has. There's not many people who are open-minded and open-hearted. So stay strong, be resilient, remain in your truth, and don't be afraid to be who you are. It might be hard at first to truly be out there and try to put yourself first and things of that nature. But once you feel like you have a support system, everything gets easier. And to find that support system may be hard, and you might have to actually put yourself outside of your comfort zone in order to do so. But it's going to be one of the most rewarding things that you've ever done, to have that chosen family, to have your family who you were born into actually start to accept you because you are now educating them on the matter. I would just say that education is key, and to educate yourself first so that you can advocate for yourself and then educate others along the matter. So because I'm mixed, my dad's side of the family doesn't really get involved with me too much because my mom held me from them growing up. And then my mom's side of the family, they don't like the fact that I'm mixed with Black and then that I'm pansexual. So it's a constant battle to try to get them to understand that just because I identify as something doesn't mean I'm any different than you, doesn't mean I love any differently, doesn't mean I work any differently. My work ethic is still strong. And if not, it probably is even stronger than anyone else's because I have to work so hard to make sure that I'm seen, to make sure that my voice is heard, to make sure that I'm not pushed back into the shadows. Like you said, this is a very difficult time for a lot of people. So for me to be technically an African-American queer young lady, it's hard. It is hard. I have to constantly try to fight to allow people to know that women or females who don't identify as women, like we are just as capable as anyone else to do anything, which is one of the reasons why I like my job back home. They don't really discriminate that you're a female. Like, all the hard work is all the hard work and you do it all together. And I need to get all organizations and all jobs and all families to realize that, hey, just because I identify as one thing, or I like this one thing, or these 3 things, or those 5 people, that it doesn't make me any different than you. We are all people at the end of the day, and we should all want the same thing. Peace, love, happiness, the whole spiel about all of that good stuff. And we need to come together as a community in order to make these things happen. If we keep oppressing and pushing everyone else down, that it's just going to continue to get worse. There's going to be nothing but resentment, and there's not going to be community. And how are you going to have a world with no community? I just don't get that. So, yeah. I look to my mentor every day because she actually got me into Advocates for Richmond Youth, and she opens up so many doors for me as far as pushing me to be a better advocate and things of that nature. And she's like a queer mom, married, a professor of social work. And I'm just like, I need to be you. Either you or you that's up there on the stage. Like, how can I be more like you? And whenever I have those conversations with them, they literally just tell me, keep doing what I'm doing. Don't stop. Continue to be resilient. And don't allow anything or anybody to get in my way. And when someone pushes, push back. And that's just what I've been doing. So.
Yes.
My favorite part about being me. I don't think I've ever been asked that question before. I would say how original I am. I don't think I've ever met anybody like me as far as my personality, the way that I care for people. I've been told about like how big my heart is. That's unusual, I guess, where I'm from. Even down to how I cook, how I interact with individuals, how I eat is kind of weird. The way I dress is so different compared to the people in my community. So I would just say my uniqueness would be my favorite part about myself, and the fact that I'm now not afraid to be that unique. Like, I'll come out here any way I want to come out. And if you don't like it, you just don't like it. It's get used to it or get out the way. And I like that. I've become that.
That's so beautiful.
Thank you.
I want everyone to feel like that.
Same, no, same.
Right?